Hi, everybody. This is Anuj Vaidya. I'm a fourth year student in performance studies.
Hi, I am Caro Novella. I'm also in performance studies, probably my final year.
Thank you for joining us today for Scores for Self-Care. This is going to be a weekly offering that we offer through the Performance Studies program at UC Davis, a series of embodied practices, movement practices, meditation practices, visualization practices, self-care practices that we'll pre-record and upload to Strike You every Wednesday morning. So hope you'll join us for these sessions of self-care. And why are we focusing on self-care? So that we can show up with more energy for the communities that we love and for our labors of love. Teaching and learning and activism as well are all really exhausting, and they can be as replenishing as it can be exhausting. And they require that we not only take care of the physical body through which this work is done, but also to the mind and spirit, which nourish our commitments and desires, right? So it's hard work to kind of turn this practice into a habit. One thing for me is in doing this is to make it somehow more easy for me to turn this practice into a habit. So hopefully by the end of this, we can all be doing this together on a regular basis. It's also important that we integrate our body, mind, and spirit, and we connect to the places that we're in, always, but especially during these stressful and uncertain times, right? And so it's in that spirit that we are offering these scores for self-care to you. This week, we'll lead you through two practices. The first is one that was developed by Natasha Myer. It's a Kriya for cultivating your inner plant, the meditation visualization practice about getting in touch with your inner plant. And the second is one that Caro Novella will lead us through on sensing a plant in your vicinity. And so, Caro, can you tell us more about the practice?
Yes. It feels that being so much behind or in front or nearby screens is bringing us to an edge, an audiovisual edge that needs some grounding, some slowing down, some connecting to our plant times, to our sensories, grounding, rooting senses, right? So I think that that's what we're trying to do with this double session today.
Excellent. Couple of things we wanted to say is one that we'd like you to move away from the screen and really feel with your entire body. So the idea is that the imagination is, and your memories are also not just like intellectual memories, right? They're actually embodied memories. Like, so imagine smells, imagine touch and feel, the feel of the wind, all of those things. Activate the memories of all of that as you're doing this visualization. And move away from the screen, as we said, turn your volume up if you need to. If you can't turn your volume up, there's going to be text on screen. And while we do recommend you keep your eyes closed, if for accessibility reasons you need to follow the text on screen, that's fine too. Whatever works for you, right? Make sure to be comfortable. You can either be standing, you can be seated, you can be lying down. Just have some point of contact with the ground beneath you. And even if you're up on the third floor of a building, right? Like eventually that's connected to the ground. So you might just have to dig a little deeper. But we're going to turn off our video now, and I'm going to start sharing my screen. And then we will start the meditation visualization practice after like about 30 seconds of silence so that you get a chance to kind of settle into your space. And the images you'll see on screen when we turn it off are made by Travis Bedell. It's a series of anatomical collages. And those are part of Natasha Myers' piece. So she references these images. And so we wanted to bring these amazing images to you too, as a place to visualize from.
Mm-hmm.
Is that clear on your screen, Caro?
Yes.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Never forget this. Your body does not end at the skin. Your contours are not constrained by physical appearance. Your morphological imaginary is fluid and changeable.
Indeed, your tissues can absorb all kinds of fantasies. Your imagination generates more than mere mental images. Its reach extends through your entire sensorium.
Simultaneously visual and kinesthetic, imaginings carry an affective charge. They can excite your muscles, tissues, and fascia, heighten or alter your senses.
You can fold semiosis into sensation. Perceptual experiments can rearticulate your sensorium. And by imagining otherwise and telling different stories, you can open up new sensible worlds.
Consider trying on the habits, comportments, and sensitivities of other bodies, becoming with and alongside others. You might begin to see with new eyes, smell with a new nose, and taste with a new tongue.
Indeed, we have opportunities to do this every day in our entangled mimetic dances with others, human, more than human, and machine.
These encounters can incite other ways of seeing feeling, and knowing. Altered perceptions can destabilize entrenched sensory regimes and bring otherwise imperceptible phenomena within our grasp.
What you once thought were stable boundaries between bodies may begin to break down. The very order of things may come undone.
Consider this as an invitation to deepen your already multi-species yoga practice. Cat, cow, dog, crow, scorpion, and fish poses torque your body into mimetic affinities with animal forms.
Here, I invite you to cultivate your inner plant. This is not an exercise in anthropomorphism, a rendering of plants on the model of the human.
Rather, it is an opportunity to vegetalize your already more than human body. In order to awaken the latent plant in you, you will need to get interested and involved in the things that plants care about.
Follow the plants. Let yourself be lured by their tropic turn, and you will acquire freshly vegetalized sensory dexterities. Try this Kriya. 3 poses will never be the same again.
Find a patch of sunlight. Have you found it? Now stand tall. Let your feet sink into the ground below you. And close your eyes. Reach your bare arms outward and feel the sun warm your skin. Drink it in. Now, let go of your bodily contours.
The skin and flesh of your arms thins and fans outward, becoming membrane thin. Your bones dissolve. And your muscles melt away.
Begin to pump water through your veins until they elongate and branch into turgid vessels. Draw water up your growing stem into your leaves.
Play with this new buoyancy. Feel the lift and tilt as your leaves and stems reach for more sunlight. You are becoming phototropic. Lap up the sunlight through your greening leaves.
Feel a cool pocket of air forming on the underside of your leaves as you release atmospheric vapors. You are photosynthesizing, eating sunlight, inhaling gaseous carbon, exhaling oxygen, and releasing water.
Now, drop down into your roots. Extend yourself into the cool, moist earth. Feel your strength as a downward thrust that inspires an upward lift. Experiment with gravitropism.
Feel the rush as you redistribute your awareness through this thin, filigree tangle of roots that branch and branch until they reach the width of just a single cell. Find one of your root tips.
Taste the wet, metallic soil. Smell that musty gradient of decaying matter, flush with nitrogen and phosphorus. Propel yourself towards the source. Experiment with your strength. I mean, nothing needs to happen, but yeah. Okay.
Now push yourself up against the soil and grow through minute crevices between crumbling pieces of earth. Wherever the soil resists, just release your chemical stores to dissolve whatever is in your path.
Now, multiply this sensation. Feel 2 searching root tips. Then 4. Can you extend your awareness to 5?
What would it feel like to be 1,000 root tips extending through the soil? Feel the rush as you expand your awareness to millions of sensitive root tips.
Dive downwards and run outwards, drawing water and nutrients in and up through all of them simultaneously. Feel your whole root system humming with an electric charge.
You have become one giant nerve cell merging with the soil. Now hook yourself into a thickening mycelial network of fungi, microbes, and other roots all around you.
Feel the energetic thrill of connection. How far can you extend your awareness? Run with it in every direction. Without letting go of this excitation, draw your awareness back up your stem and into your leaves.
You no longer have eyes, a nose, ears, a tongue, or nerves, but that doesn't mean you can't see, smell, hear, speak, taste, or feel. Can you feel the play of light and shadow across your leaves?
The surface of each one of your leaves is a visual organ, registering and remembering minute shifts light intensity. And you can see in color, indeed, a wider range of colors than your human eyes have ever beheld.
You don't need a central nervous system to process this information into images. Your leaves are filmic media, recording color movies of the lush, shifting light patterns around you.
You can see the dancing shadows other plants cast as they list and play in the wind. And you can tell that the person standing over you, about to prune your limbs, is wearing a red shirt.
Experiment with light at dawn and dusk. Can you feel the energetic shift when the far red light of the rising and setting sun clues your body in to the Earth's rotational rhythm?
In time, you will be able to remember precisely when those long rays last excited your tissues. You will not only acquire a bodily memory of the play of light and color as they change over the seasons, you will learn to anticipate and prepare for future events.
Continue this practice daily, and you will no longer need a nose to smell or a mouth to speak. Your entire body will become an olfactory organ, sniffing out the richly fragrant world around you.
Indeed, the atmosphere is a collaborative ecology of volatile chemical signals to which you actively and volubly contribute. Take pleasure in the art of synthesizing and releasing complex bouquets of fragrance from your tissues.
This is your way of telling the world what you are up to, moment to moment. You can talk to other plants and animals, reporting on the conditions of your leaves, flowers, and fruits.
You will be able to lure pollinators and complain audibly about the damage done by feeding insects. Indeed, you not only feel insects crawling up your stem and slicing into your tissues. You can discern the distinct species eating your leaves by tasting the specific chemistry of its saliva.
If you are quick, you can synthesize volatile compounds to warn your neighbors so that they can prepare their tissues with toxins to keep the offending insects at bay. Or you could call out for help from other insects who will prey on these herbivores.
Soon, you will discover that you are an effusive catalyst at the center of an affectively charged chemical ecology.
Now it's time to let go. Draw in your roots until your rhizome remembers its feet. Let your leaves thicken into arms. Feel your turgid vessels soften.
Drop your arms back down to your sides and come back to your breath. Come back to your body. But remember to ask yourself, is this really the same body? What has changed?
So now we're moving to a second practice, a score to spend some juicy plant time. And before we jump in here, if you need to pause to take a little break, this would be a good time to do so. Caro, whenever you're ready.
Thank you. So, if your situation allows, go outside and pick a plant to spend some time with. It can be a tree, a garden flower, or some grass. Or you can also stay inside and pick the plant that needs the more care, or that you sense is in the most precarious condition. We're gonna give you a minute so you get near this plant. Once you're ready, get close to the plant you picked and close your eyes. Sense its presence. Notice its warmth, size, its scent. Perhaps you notice its shape, its fragrance, its memories, the many internal movements. Attend to the many micro details you can notice. Now, slowly move away from it and notice its absence. How does this plant void affects you. Perhaps it's a shadow forecasting over you. Perhaps it's a missing scent. Perhaps you don't hear the ticklish noise of its leaves in the wind. Keep attending to the absence left. Now, get close to it again. Do it very, very slow. Enter her space, waiting for a response. Sense it, sensing you. Notice how her shape, size, scent, existence affects you as you get closer and closer to her. Breathe by its side. Share oxygen with it. Sink to its breathing. Once you are both ready, get closer to the point where you can feel your breath bouncing off her leaves or her flowers or her stem and back into you. Keep breathing and stay breathing with it for a while. Noticing the flow of inhalations and exhales coming back to you. Notice the scents entering your nostrils. Explore the many smells. And as you stay close to your plant, keep breathing and smelling together. When you're both ready, get so close that your skin membranes activate each other. Do it very, very slow. As you get closer, sense the tickling, hissing sensation of your touch touching back. Gently explore with different surfaces of your skin body. You can try forearms, your nose, perhaps the plant of your feet, or the area by your belly button, the skin underneath your ears, or between your fingers. The back of your neck, try your eyelids. Keep exploring. This is a never-ending exploration. Enjoy each other and spend time with what you like the most. Trust that your curious care is well received. Sense her curiosity exploring you back. In addition to different parts of your skin, you can also play with the kind of touch that you can offer. Caress, pressing, tingling. Can you tap? Can you hug? Notice the different kinds of sensation touching you back with any kind of touch. Let your skin and your fascia and your muscles be activated back with her touch. Spend as long as you want. Find that kind of touch that gives you the most pleasure and stay with it. When you're ready, deeply breathe and inhale all the smells and scents around you, and slowly open your eyes back. Notice her. Is she wet, dry, vigorous, looking strong? What do you think she needs? What have you learned from spending time together about what, what might be good for her now? Is there anything you can do to make her feel more comfortable? Perhaps more water, changing the pot, or placing her under the light? Hopefully, this juicy time planned together will have helped you become a bit more aware of your plant needs, and hopefully you'll also be a bit grounded into your own skin and rhythm, breath. We hope you have been opened to new sensations.
Thank you for leading us through such a lovely visualization, Caro. Thank you very much. You know what I love about both these practices is one, that it lets me slow down and kind of come back into the mind and body, integrate the mind and body, really feel with like all of my extremities and feel beyond my body, kind of bring back all those memories of bodily sensations. I love that about Natasha's practice. And I really felt like with what you led us through, it's so nice to actually just pay attention to one plant. Like I often go water my plants on a weekly basis, but I wonder, like, this practice actually can be taken for a whole hour, right? So the practice of watering your plants can be an hour long practice that we kind of do now. I mean, especially since we have the time now too, right? Like, let's use it to actually breathe with the plants in our spaces. And this is like small nature. Even if we can't go outside and be with nature, it's like small nature that we can be with in the present. Two things that I wanted to also remind people before we left is the importance of breathing through these practices, right? It's really about using the breath to connect to our past sensations and to the present and to the spaces that are beyond where we are. But then also to remind people that they can actually take this practice and really extend the spaces between. So right now, what we did was like a half hour or 40-minute practice, but you can really extend this to an hour, to 2 hours, right? You can just remember, and it's not really about following all of those things in order, but you can access whatever you remember from that practice the next time you're outside standing in grass, or feel the need to go back to that space of standing in grass. You can stand in your living room and just try to take whatever you can from this practice and do it over however long you want it. So just wanted to remind you all of that. And thank you, Caro, for joining me in this for self-care.
Thank you, Nush, for inviting me and for holding this space. Hope that we can continue offering tons of scores.
Yeah. Until next week. Thank you, everybody.
Bye. Take care.